Hi there, this is Ken again, and you've just heard the first part of our interview, and um, we'll be doing the next part in a few minutes. Remember, this was a vet and his wife, and I hope that you enjoyed this part too. How long ago do you think you met us at Warriors Hope? We've been together for a while, so how long do you think it's been? What we were talking about? What was it? 2000? What was it? 17. Okay, because that would have been our first dinner.
Yeah, it may have been your first dinner that we attended.
Okay. Now, you and I were talking earlier when we were talking about this. What was the next event you went to? That was a significant event for you guys too. Maybe you could talk a little. Either of you could talk about that. What was the next thing that you went to?
We went to a ranch, a horse ranch.
Yeah, Hopewell Ranch.
Hopewell Ranch,
Okay.
yes. And I got to meet a female veteran that I got to know.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty exciting for me because, I mean, at the dinner, I got to talk to him, and, you know, it was empowering, but to actually be in a cabin with her, that was awesome.
Okay. And just so people know, it was a weekend that you were staying at this horse ranch. Okay, so you got close experience with a female veteran. Okay.
Yeah, and to learn the things that she had to endure is like, wow. You know, it's different experiences.
Okay. Well, how did it go for you, Jamie? Horse ranch.
It was good. I guess one of my experiences specifically doesn't even have to do with the fact of veterans. It was just horses. Just being able to be around the horses. Horses seem to be extremely sensitive, and just even brushing them, it was all kind of a very hands-on experience with the horses. But it was weird because it was almost like empathy. And it's a completely different feeling than being around people. But like me personally, if stuff's going on, I'd rather go fishing or somewhere out in nature where things are quiet and people aren't around. But it was just, I don't know, the whole experience is a good one because it allowed you to kind of think through things and put some things on the table that you wouldn't normally put out there.
Okay.
A lot of the trauma stuff is stuff you really don't want to talk about. But I don't think I'm the only one that way. It seems to be pretty across the board. There's a lot of stuff you experience you don't really want to. Bringing it back up is painful.
Right. So
I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that feels that way either.
Right. Did you find yourself? It almost sounds like you said you found yourself. Were you talking about that at the horse ranch? I mean, getting more into the
trauma
stuff.
in general. I didn't go into I don't want to go into specific detail, but the trauma has been pretty consistent.
But it wasn't a real. The horse ranch, the way the horse ranch runs is not that it's a therapy program where you're sitting like this talking about your trauma. It's just kind of a more.
It's more a relaxed environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what was shared was just stuff between veterans that like we understand about each other. And when you're talking trauma, a lot of it's hard to describe unless you've been there.
Right.
And like that connection between veterans is very unique. And like I said, really it comes down to if I can make a difference in someone else's life sharing what I've been through, great, that's one less person, or maybe that's a person that decides not to take their life or is willing to make the connection to someone else that can make the difference. Sometimes it's not. There's some you have to do yourself, but sometimes you just need the hand to be held out to help you kind of make that first step. And the first one's probably the hardest.
Wow.
Kind of like opening Pandora's box.
Can I add something to that?
Sure, go right ahead.
With what he was saying, there was like, we had a little campfire setting, And it was kind of really, I felt honored to
Mm-hmm.
hear some of their stories, because those are stories that, you don't hear them every day, especially when you're in front of that person physically.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was,
Usually awkward.
yeah, it was good, especially seeing that veterans they're exposing themselves
Mm-hmm.
in a way, and I honor, because I think it would be something hard to do,
Mm-hmm.
but they can do it together,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like a good thing sometimes.
Okay. Okay. The next thing is what has been your experience since you've known Warriors Hope? You've known us for 3 or 4 years now, and so have things changed? Are things different? Is it all the same? I mean, what are some significant things that have happened since Warriors Hope, since meeting us?
Well,
I think we covered some of it already.
yeah, we've covered
Like the
some
horse
of it.
program,
Right.
we went to the first dinner, but we've been helping in the dinners since.
Yeah, we've experienced quite a few dinners, and they just get bigger. And the barbecue
Mm-hmm.
was a blast. I mean, I didn't do much socializing myself. I more or less like to, you know, sit back and observe. I'm an observer, and just to observe, like, there's nothing foul that happened. There was nothing negative. It was all positive experience, and I like to see those positive experiences for people, and even our veterans too, because they need that positivity. They need to know that there's people there that really care,
Okay.
and want to do these things for them.
Okay. What do you think, Jamie? What's your thoughts?
Ah,
Because you're the veteran who has
I lost
now
my
just
train of
not
thought
gone to
already.
one. You've now not gone to one event, but you've gone to a number of things and experienced us in a number of different ways.
I think helping other people as a veteran kind of helps yourself, because it's not. I don't want to use the word handout or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the word hand up
Okay.
might be a better word. But by helping others, really honestly, you're just helping yourself get through your own struggle, because, like, even in the military, you went through it together.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it takes another person who's been through it with you to just give you a hand up and say, hey, this is the first step. It kind of goes from there. I mean, I'm not going to say it was all me or Warriors Hope or anything that made the complete difference. I think a lot of what's changed in my life is just my relationship with God, what He's changed in my life, and I'm not saying that everything's all better overnight, because it doesn't work that way. You just sometimes, like in the very beginning, I think it was just one day at a time, literally one day at a time,
Yeah.
and getting through one day was a huge struggle at times. Just a single one. We're not even talking about a week. We're just talking about one single day. And then as you are kind of going through things and learning, you're making it through the day, and then before you know it, you're making it through a week, and things are starting to change. But a lot of that really comes down to the willingness to change, and a lot of that too comes down to other people helping. But there's still, like I said, personal responsibility. Then you have your own mess to clean up.
Okay. So, was just the experience of being with the veterans then from Warriors Hope the thing that made the difference, or is it just kind of a combination?
A combination. Part of that too is the people that are helping you. Military. I mean, I'm just gonna be real about it. A lot of times in the military, you can tell the difference between people that actually care about what they're doing and people just doing their job. Huge difference. But I think people are a lot more effective in the position they're in if they actually care about what they're doing. If you're just doing it for a paycheck. I've been through enough therapy to, inpatient therapy, you name it. I mean, there's a huge difference between someone that actually cares and someone that not. I mean, it's worlds of difference.
So what are you trying to tell us about where Warriors Hope stands and the caring and the not caring? Where are we in that spectrum for you?
The people that are here seem genuinely interested in helping you make it further, whether it be from the top, the board members, the people in it. They give of their time because they actually want to help. And I guess that makes a difference just because of the attitude they're approaching it with and the way they're approaching you. Because sometimes it's, as a veteran, it's like, well, you have no idea. And most of us are just like to just blow people off because they really don't know. But the approach is different.
Okay.
The way that people approach you isn't, well, you got to do it this way, and this way. There's the way to do it from a book. And, well, you can take the book and just chuck it because that stuff's not really realistic for the most part anyways.
Okay.
I think the gut instinct of the people that you're around, like their calling, the way that they love what they're doing kind of makes them better at their job.
Okay. And you look like you're responding to that too, Sonya.
Oh, I agree with what he's saying. Um, it's kind of hard to not use names.
Well, if it's names of board members or people who are helping, that's fine. But it's just, specific veterans you may have had stories about is what I don't want to put their names on here unless they're comfortable
it's a
with it.
board member.
Okay.
I find that my experience, what I'd like to share is that Ken has made a difference. And
Ken is me, you mean, right?
You, yes.
Okay, you don't have to use second or third
You,
person.
you've made a difference, and you really have, because, I really, you find veterans doing for veterans. Like he enjoys helping veterans. And then you have your ordinary Joe who pulls together an organization because they genuinely care. And that in itself touches my heart.
Okay.
Because you genuinely care.
Well,
and I appreciate the dinners, and we do look forward to them, or we look forward to helping out with them, because your heart lies where we were at one time. And, it's like sometimes when you're in the military, you just feel like nobody cares. And you think, people think, okay, well, they get everything, and you don't. And then when you get tossed out, you're like, what do you do now? And then you run into a flyer for veterans, and it's like, great. It's, it's a little hope for us, because, we live in a little town, and it's just an awesome thing that you guys have done.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm honored. And if anybody gets to meet you, or any of the staff members, or anybody that even goes to the Warrior Hope dinners, or the Hopewell Ranch, anything else that you have to offer, they're blessed.
Well, thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that.
Very welcome.
Okay, so then I guess our last question is and you kind of already done this, what would you tell other veterans if they came to you and said, tell me about Warriors Hope? You've already kind of told us a lot, but what would be a recommendation or a thought or something to kind of encourage them?
Don't be afraid to put yourself in a position where you're going to run into other veterans or other veteran spouses, because after you're out of the military, it's more refreshing, to touch base, and to touch base with those who are not even affiliated with the military, and that have the heart, a heart of gold, genuinely care.
Okay. Well, anything else to add there, Jamie?
I think the people in Warriors Hope as a group, like specifically the board members and them, have a heart for what they do. Because if they didn't, it wouldn't be here and we wouldn't be doing it. But like even me, through what I've been through, it's not really about me as much as the fact that I might be able to help someone else further down the line that was in the position I was in at one point. Um, Suicide for veterans is huge, and I've been there a couple times myself where I've considered it because you get out, you lose your identity. Um, you really lose who you are, and you have to relearn everything. And specifically, disabilities, for example, is trying to relearn with the disabilities and restrictions is very difficult. You know, and as a father and as a husband, you struggle. And you know, I understand where a lot of people are, where I used to be. And I'm not going to say it's been easy. It's been work the entire time, but I believe in being real about who you are and where you're at. And I've lost far too many friends.
But you gain a
I
lot
mean,
of
I've
them
gained
from.
more, but
No,
really,
you've
what
gained
it's
them.
about is trying to prevent other people from doing the same and realizing it. You know, there's hope.
Yeah, Spice Warriors Hope.
Yes, that is it's interesting, and now I'm going to kind of explain to the people what my passion is. My passion as a director, I started this because I was involved as a therapist in the Wounded Warrior Project, which is a national project, which we are not really affiliated with them. It's just something that gave me a heart. And what happened was it broke my heart because I started to see that these, just like Jamie and Sonya said, that there's a lot of pain that they've gone through and a lot of things that need to be worked on. And so as I've gone through this and as our organization has grown and developed, we have found that doing events sometimes can help the veterans the most. I am a therapist, but we don't focus on therapy as much as helping them reintegrate, because really reintegration is what they've been talking about this whole time, is how do you go from military life with regiment and plans and you know what you're doing every moment of every day to civilian life where you kind of have to create your own. And this is hard, I know, for a lot of military families. And so what's happened is we have gotten together and decided to do some of that. We do events. We also have reintegration counseling. My assistant director, Dustin, and I are able to do that, where we call ourselves reintegration coaches, which Jamie and Sonya have experienced some of that as well too. We've helped them kind of work through some things. And then the big thing is really to get the veterans together. Right? We will do anything to get them together so that they can talk together. Like Jamie was saying, that the healthiest thing that a veteran can do is to get with another veteran and be honest, because that's probably the most healing thing we've seen and I've seen. Yes, I am a civilian, like they said, but it's like God has really developed a strong desire to help these veterans get well. Our biggest thing, my biggest thing right now is to help the veterans change that statistic that is the 22 or the 20 vets killing themselves every day. We want to change one veteran at a time so that that doesn't happen. We also have other programs. We have a dog program that is we give away free companion dogs to any vet that might need them. And we do other things as well. One of the big things that we always have told people, that any veteran or their family that are involved with us will never have to pay anything for our services. So we look a lot on our donors to help us with that as well. But I just want to say thank you for doing that. Just kind of put your guys out there. I made you, okay. And it's kind of hot because we don't have our air conditioner on because it makes too much noise.
That's A-okay. That's A-okay.
Yeah, so I just want to thank you guys for coming and sharing this, because I know that this is significant for you guys, and it's been good for us to have a relationship with you as well, because we've learned a lot about that.
Well, thank you, Ken. Really, thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks.